Some of the steel slats that the president's been talking about right here. As you can see, yes, you can see through these slats to the other side of the U.S.-Mexico border. But as we're walking along here, we're not seeing any kind of imminent danger. There are no migrants trying to rush toward this fence here in the McAllen, Texas area. As a matter of fact, there are some other businesses behind me along this highway. There's a gas station, Burger King, and so on. But no sign of the national emergency that the president has been talking about.
So it works.
I got you. Yeah, I will defend my brothers. I will defend the weak. I will pursue and fight evil so others may sleep. I am the sheepdog, protecting the night. Wolf hunters unite. Bring it on. It's time to fight.
So, I know a lot of people are going to be like, Mike, why are you getting political? Listen, it's actually the dropping of politics. This, to me, isn't an issue of Republican or Trump versus Democrat / Schumer Pelosi. Those people represent maybe two opposing sides politically, but that is not really what's at issue. What is the issue for me in terms of law enforcement is where this intersects with the concept of whether or not people should enter this country illegally, or what we can do to help reduce that. I actually agree with President Obama in the past when he said that just a border fence isn't the only way, or it's not the only solution to the problem of illegal immigration, but it certainly is a huge factor. There's a reason that walls work. It makes it extremely difficult to just walk across where there didn't used to be one. Now, I'm not really going to get into, again, the political side of things. I don't believe that it is valuable for our country from a law enforcement perspective to have our Border Patrol agents spending their time chasing down a massive percentage of people that get through the border. We only catch a very limited number of those crossing the border illegally. This would greatly enhance our ability to catch those who are coming into our country illegally. We're not talking about undocumented. We're talking about illegally. All right? So that's important. And a lot of people say, well, the wall won't work. It's antiquated technology. Yeah, so's the wheel. So stop driving your car, I guess. Do you eat with a fork? That's been around a little while. And you could do all sorts of what-if type scenarios, okay? And I might have just looked up from... I've been looking at the screen above my camera, not the lens, so I might look like I have a slight mental issue. But anyway, you could what-if yourself to death, right? What if they dig tunnels? Okay, well, it's going to take them a long time to get that deep and that far in order to start moving a bunch of people through there. And if the border wall or fence or barrier, let's just call it a barrier, if that extends for the whole southern border, guess what? Now we can implement all sorts of different technologies to monitor that. It doesn't take the same manpower roaming around, paying for officers to be driving that whole massive distance, hoping that they're there at the right time. Now we can monitor it in other ways that some people are talking about, like drones and closed circuit television, all that technology that we can apply once the barrier is in place. But you can what if yourself to death. What if they I think I heard somebody some talking head talk about, like, what if people got catapulted over? I mean, there's what if they had covert Mexican helicopters where the coyotes started learning how to fly. They get their pilot license and they silently try to drop in like SEAL Team 6 or something. You can what if yourself to death, but let's use common sense here. It's not good for our country that people would start their journey in America illegally. That's not a good thing. That's from my perspective as a police officer. You can disagree with that. That's okay. But once that barrier is in place, then we can start talking about other technologies and other ways to improve the checkpoints and other things like that. But this barrier is huge, and I do believe, without going far over into some political spectrum, I do believe that it would ultimately be able to pay for itself, given the burden that can happen on us as tax-paying citizens, paying for those who are here illegally, or undocumented, or who are overextended, however you want to say it, it is a burden on the taxpayers. And if we can recoup some of that, I think it pays for itself. That's my piece on this law enforcement meets culture issue of the border wall and illegal immigration. All right, until next time.